You think Arman can get it done? Beat
I think he
Islam?
can. I do. I do think he can get it done. I think he's...
Colby Covington's bold claim that Arman Tsarukyan has a better chance against Islam Makhachev has stirred controversy, as many question whether the rising star can truly dethrone the champion.
The edge in this fight against Islam. So I guess, could you give us any insight on what you see that could, reveal the secret technique that you have?
How can I tell you my secret technique? So it's gonna be surprise in January 18. I wanna get bonus. That's why I'm doing that secret technique.
Covington has shared his perspective on the eagerly awaited rematch between Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan, suggesting that Tsarukyan might have the upper hand in this fight. Covington's belief stems from his assessment of Tsarukyan's athleticism and impressive skills, especially his remarkable flexibility and his ability to escape difficult situations. He points to Tsarukyan's performance against Charles Oliveira, where he managed to escape a dangerous choke, as an example of the young fighter's tenacity and potential. Covington also mentions Tsarukyan's coaching, suggesting that it is superior to Makhachev's, which could further enhance his chances of securing a victory. Covington is confident that if Tsarukyan believes in his hands and trusts his knockout power, he could potentially finish Makhachev in the striking department.
I think he's an athlete. Look how flexible he is. Look how he got out of that choke with Charles. That was impressive, man. He dug deep for that. And, he's got a better coach. He's got a great coach. So, I believe in Arman. He's an athlete. He's got big power in his hands. If he believes in those hands, I think he could knock out Makhachev.
Islam Makhachev himself has acknowledged that his first encounter with Tsarukyan was one of the most challenging fights of his career. Makhachev admitted that Tsarukyan pushed him to his limits, and the fight provided a unique test that he wasn't fully prepared for due to it being on short notice. Despite Tsarukyan's admirable performance, Makhachev was able to earn the victory, but he recognizes the difficulty of the contest.
It was one of the hardest fight, of course, but it's not like toughest fight, because the 5th round with Volkanovski, it was crazy. It was hard rate, more than 200 it's called, but maybe I was underestimating because he's
short
notice, nobody know him, and he don't have name, and I never watch his fight, and he did well in that fight.
Makhachev has also noted that only one other fighter has given him as much trouble as Tsarukyan did, Alexander Volkanovski, who went 5 rounds with him in an epic fight. Makhachev revealed that during his first fight with Tsarukyan, he may have underestimated him, as Tsarukyan was a relatively unknown name at the time. However, Makhachev now acknowledges the potential threat Tsarukyan poses.
The first fight, I don't know his background, He defends my wrestling. He give me just, he's tough. That's why he give me a hard time. But now I know everything what he can do.
So you think you'll finish him?
I think yes.
Since their first encounter, Tsarukyan has taken significant steps to improve himself, particularly in the areas of endurance and cardio. As the rematch with Makhachev approaches at UFC 311, Tsarukyan has chosen to prepare in high-altitude conditions, training near Mount Elbrus, the highest peak in Europe. This training location has been proven to enhance cardiovascular conditioning and has been used by other fighters, including Khamzat Chimaev, to improve their gas tanks. Tsarukyan's decision to replicate this preparation speaks volumes about his dedication to overcoming the challenges he faced in their first fight, where his endurance faltered in the later rounds. This time around, he is determined to be in peak physical condition, knowing that his fitness could be the key to keeping up with Makhachev over 5 rounds.
When I got UFC, I didn't think about the UFC belt and everything. I just wanted to get in top 15. But after my first win, I wanted to be a champion, and I started thinking about championship. And when Islam got the belt, I said, I want to fight with Islam for the belt.
Tsarukyan's training camp is marked by its intensity and strategic focus. He is known for pushing himself to his physical limits in every training session, striving to become a more well-rounded fighter. His coaches, who have a reputation for being some of the best in the sport, are helping him refine his wrestling, striking, and conditioning, ensuring that he is prepared for every aspect of the fight. Tsarukyan is also known for his mental discipline, constantly focusing on perfecting his technique and staying sharp during each phase of his training. This relentless work ethic has earned him a reputation as one of the most disciplined and hardworking fighters in the lightweight division, and it has played a pivotal role in his rapid development.
First of all, I know how to wrestle very well. Second, I'm young. I'm young and hungry, so I never had a belt, so it drives me very well, and I have a lot of energy for the trainings. And I believe myself, I'm the guy who is gonna beat him.
While Tsarukyan is focused on improving his cardio, Makhachev is also pushing himself to the limit in preparation for the rematch. He is being pushed by none other than UFC Hall of Famer Khabib Nurmagomedov, who continues to play a key role in sharpening Makhachev's skills. Known for his relentless dedication to training, Khabib is ensuring that Makhachev remains focused and sharp, providing tough love when necessary. Khabib's coaching style is both demanding and strategic, and he has been instrumental in Makhachev's rise to the top of the lightweight division. Makhachev has spoken about the rigorous training sessions with Khabib, noting that they are designed to push him beyond his comfort zone. Khabib's influence on Makhachev is clear. Makhachev's grappling, striking, and overall technique have all improved under Khabib's watchful eye, making him a more dangerous fighter with each passing day.
Coach Khabib has lost his damn mind, and he does not understand like fatigue when he doesn't do everything. And this guy is crazy out here.
Brother,
Is this guy really crazy?
You have to come to the camp because this guy pressure like push us crazy. And we have all this sparring, couple grappling rounds, couple wrestling rounds, and that's it. We finish all training. But when we finish all these things, he beginning do like some other exercise too much. I think
this guy
I think
crazy.
he's never training hard like that.
Makhachev's preparation for the rematch with Tsarukyan has not been without its challenges. Khabib has not hesitated to criticize Makhachev's approach to training when he feels it is necessary. During one particular training session, Makhachev asked Khabib for feedback on his performance, and Khabib gave him a rating of 4 out of 5, which clearly disappointed the champion. Makhachev, who was expecting a more favorable assessment, was taken aback by Khabib's honest and somewhat harsh criticism. Khabib explained that Makhachev's training schedule needed to be adjusted, particularly when it came to rest periods. Khabib believes that rest should only be taken on Sundays and Saturdays, ensuring that Makhachev remains focused and constantly working toward improvement. This tough love approach from Khabib serves to remind Makhachev that no matter how successful he becomes, there is always room for improvement.
Короче, эту неделю нормально отпахали. Вот даже результат налицо. Тренера спросим.
Доволен ли я или нет?
Да.
Честно?
Да.
4.
4. А что надо сделать, чтобы 5 получить?
Брат, в среду вечером отдохнули?
Да.
Ну,
Нельзя было?
нет, конечно.
Ой.
Отдыхаем в воскресенье и суббота вечер, и все.
Makhachev's confidence heading into the rematch is bolstered by the strength of his team and the expertise of his coach. Makhachev trains at one of the most respected gyms in the world, and his team includes some of the best minds in MMA. Alongside Khabib, Makhachev works with renowned coach Javier Mendez, who has a wealth of experience in training elite fighters. Mendez has worked with several top-level fighters, including Khabib himself, and he has full confidence in Makhachev's abilities. Mendez believes that while Tsarukyan is a formidable opponent, Makhachev's all-around skills, particularly his grappling and striking, will be enough to secure the victory. Makhachev's versatility, in Mendez's view, is one of his greatest strengths, and it will allow him to adapt to whatever Tsarukyan brings to the table during the fight.
Do you foresee that rematch looking very different than that first fight?
I definitely foresee the fight being different, but I just don't know to what areas is going to be different. It's going to be what he's going to give us that we're going to take. Because, Islam, like I've said many a times, we can switch him from round to round, minute to minute, second to second, and how he fights. So Khabib and I would just have to assess what Arman comes to the table, and we'll have to see what we need to do, adjust, and if we can implement our game plan. And it could be the ground or it could be stand-up, doesn't matter, because Islam can do it all.
Despite the strengths of Makhachev's team and his clear technical superiority, there are still many in the MMA community who believe that Tsarukyan has a genuine chance to dethrone the lightweight champion. Brendan Schaub has pointed out that while Makhachev is undoubtedly one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, the strength of his schedule has been a point of contention. Schaub believes that Makhachev's legacy is still in the making and that he needs to face more high-level competition to solidify his place among the greatest of all time. That said, Schaub still views Makhachev as the favorite in this fight, thanks to his overall skill set and experience in championship bouts.
Now, when it comes to pound for pound in your division, I look at strength of schedule. I look at who have you beat, how have you beat them. Islam's strength of schedule, when we're talking about, if you look at the pound for pound list, the top 5, has by far the easiest strength of schedule. He's not my pound for pound number 1. I'll be very clear. Not my king. Not bend the knee, dude. Refute. Cut my head off. Cut my head off. Not hating on Islam. I know you guys are gonna run with that. I'm not doing that. I'm not hating on him. There's nothing he can do about it. It's not his fault. He fights whoever's in front of him. But for his management, whoever's telling this, dude, let's jump to 70.
Brandon Gibson also weighed in on the rematch, acknowledging that Makhachev has improved significantly since his first fight with Tsarukyan. Gibson points to Makhachev's victory over Dustin Poirier as evidence of the champion's growth and championship mentality. According to Gibson, Makhachev's grappling will be a key factor in the rematch, and while Tsarukyan is a worthy opponent, he might not yet have the experience to match Makhachev's versatility and well-rounded game.
I think Islam is rightfully the favorite. He's racking up that championship experience. In the bout with Poirier showed his championship character, like being able to really dig down deep in those later rounds, despite the cut, despite being wobbled. I think Islam's really growing as a champion, and I think we won't see such a close rematch between those two. I think Islam shows domination and showcases his grappling once again.
Chase Hooper believes that the champion's wrestling will be the deciding factor in the rematch. Hooper sees Makhachev as the fighter to beat in the lightweight division, with his elite wrestling and experience in title fights giving him a significant advantage.
I'm taking Islam. I mean, it was kind of close in the first fight, but it's one of those things where people always say, like, you get 10% better after you get the belt. And, I mean, how are you going to bet against, like, put cash down against a Dagestani wrestler? Like... I think that's the smart money.
Similarly, Joaquin Buckley remains open to the possibility of an upset, but acknowledges that Makhachev's dominance in the division makes him the favorite. Buckley notes that Tsarukyan's improvements could make the fight closer than expected, but ultimately, Makhachev's experience and skill set will likely prevail.
I don't think anybody got anybody number, to be honest with you. So, we'll see what Arman has changed up and what he would do different, in this fight, in the second one that's coming up. But, for me, I think Islam is just, just a dominant champion right now. So I would just, pick, Islam just because. But, you never know. Especially when you got somebody that's hungry and determined to become a world champion themselves.
Other analysts, such as Youssef Zalal, also see Makhachev as the favorite, but they are quick to point out that Tsarukyan's style presents a unique challenge. Zalal points to the way Tsarukyan performed against Oliveira, noting that Tsarukyan's performance was impressive, though Makhachev's victory over the same opponent was even more dominant. Zalal believes that Makhachev's grappling and striking will be too much for Tsarukyan to handle, but acknowledges that Tsarukyan's striking and conditioning improvements could make the fight more competitive than many expect.
I'm definitely gonna go with my boy Islam, but I have a thing. I think that's the toughest stylistically matchup for Islam. I do believe that. People saying, oh, he fought him on short notice, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah. You should see what Arman is doing. And they're comparing, like, oh, look at what Islam did to Oliveira and then Arman to Oliveira. I was like, in this game, styles make matchups. It doesn't matter how good you are, but some styles are just not your kryptonite. So I think it's going to be a really strong matchup, but I'm definitely going with my boy Islam.
Austin Bashi shares a similar sentiment, noting that Tsarukyan's growth since their first encounter could give him an edge in this rematch. Bashi recalls that Tsarukyan was only 22 years old and on short notice when he first faced Makhachev, and believes that the additional preparation time and experience will make a significant difference. However, like many others, Bashi ultimately sees Makhachev's all-around game as the determining factor in the rematch.
I got Arman actually in that one. The first time they fought, Arman, I believe, was like only 22 years old and gave him a real good run. But this time around, I think he could pull it out.
Paul Craig has no doubt that Makhachev's mastery on the ground will be a major advantage in this fight. Craig believes that Makhachev's wrestling and ground control are unmatched in the sport, and that they will be too overwhelming for Tsarukyan to overcome. Craig's confidence in Makhachev's grappling is a sentiment shared by many analysts, who view Makhachev's ability to control the fight on the mat as a major weapon in this matchup.
I don't think there's anybody going to dethrone these Dagestanis. I think they're just their style is beautiful, and I do believe that it's going to go one way, and there's going to be the champ's going to stay the champ.
While many believe that Makhachev will win, there are a few who are not as certain. Joshua Van finds the matchup difficult to predict. He acknowledges Makhachev's continuous growth, but gives Tsarukyan credit for his solid performances in recent years. Van ultimately believes that the fight is too close to call with certainty, as both fighters are well matched in different areas of the game.
Ooh, that's gonna be a great fight. Islam is getting better at each fight, and the guy that you just mentioned, he's very good too. His last fight against Oliveira, right? Yeah. That was a great fight too. So I think this is like a 50-50 fight.
Dustin Poirier, who has faced Makhachev in the past, believes that Makhachev's striking will be an important factor in the rematch. Poirier points to Makhachev's sharp boxing as a weapon that could give him an edge over Tsarukyan if the fight stays standing. However, Poirier also notes that Makhachev's grappling will be a crucial factor, and that Tsarukyan will struggle to defend against it. Makhachev's ability to combine his striking and grappling is what Poirier believes makes him a difficult fighter to defeat.
I think Islam's striking has really evolved. I think he's made leaps and bounds with the striking. Arman's gonna have a tough time taking him down, so I think the fight will be on the feet until Islam decides to take him down. I just think Islam's striking is a little bit more crisp. His boxing is a little bit more crisp right now. So if it stays on the feet, I'm going to Islam. Obviously the grappling, probably Islam, so that's who I would pick.
Curtis Blades also favors Makhachev, citing the champion's experience against tough competition. Blades believes that Tsarukyan would need to pull off something extraordinary to overcome Makhachev's superior skill set. Blades sees Makhachev as a fighter who can adapt to any situation, and he believes that Makhachev will find a way to win, regardless of the challenges that arise in the fight.
I'm gonna go with Islam. He's already shown he's got the fortitude. Not to say Arman hasn't, but I guess Islam, he's done it against harder guys. He's already shown me he can do it. So I guess Arman would have to prove me wrong. So yeah, I'll go with Islam.
Finally, Terrence McKinney, who has faced Makhachev in the past, believes that Makhachev's size advantage will be a major factor in the rematch. McKinney points out that Makhachev's physicality will likely give him the upper hand in scrambles and in controlling the pace of the fight. While McKinney acknowledges that this could be one of Makhachev's toughest title defenses, he still sees the champion's size, strength, and experience as key factors that will carry him through to victory.
I like what Arman brings as threat on the feet, but I think Islam will, just because of his height, will be able to win most of the scramble. I think he was a bigger person just in general, and I think 5 rounds dealing with a person with that much muscle, I think Islam shows why he's champ still, but this will probably be his toughest title fight.
With the rematch rapidly approaching, the question remains, will Makhachev's relentless training and growth be enough to overcome the challenge posed by Tsarukyan, or will the underdog rise to the occasion and pull off a shocking upset? So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.